A car is seen driving past someone who has already turned into a zombie in a hilly area. Inside the car are Jung-suk and his family, heading to the port through a shortcut. A man blocks their car, asking for help, but seeing the blood on the man, Jung-suk immediately leaves him. Suddenly, the man's wife appears, carrying her child, and tries to ask for help, but for safety reasons, Jung-suk leaves them as he does not want to take risks that could endanger his family. They arrive at the port, and Jung-suk and his family slowly walk to the ship that is about to depart. The ship sails towards Japan. On the ship, Jung-suk is seen talking to his sister and his nephew. Suddenly, a member of the crew comes and informs them that their ship is being redirected to Hong Kong. Jung-suk leaves his sister and nephew to find out the reason for the diversion. After Jung-suk leaves, his nephew drops his toy ball, which rolls away. While retrieving it, a male passenger suddenly turns into a zombie. Chaos ensues in the room. Meanwhile, Jung-suk is arguing with his superior about why the ship has changed its course. A crew member reports that a passenger infected with the virus is in the lower cabin. Jung-suk runs to the cabin. Elsewhere, his sister's husband is seen enjoying a meal, but looks confused as he sees people running in panic, as if something terrible is happening. Jung-suk arrives in the corridor and slowly walks through it, seeing bloodstains everywhere. Suddenly, a zombie attacks him from behind. Fortunately, Jung-suk manages to dodge and shoot the zombie. Arriving at the cabin, he finds it already infected with the zombie virus. Slowly, he approaches his sister and finds his nephew almost turning into a zombie due to a bite. Seeing his sister not infected yet, Jung-suk asks her to leave her child and go with him, but she chooses to stay with her infected child. One by one, the infected people start attacking Jung-suk. He tries to avoid and shoot the zombies while looking at his sister from afar. When his sister's husband appears, Jung-suk closes and blocks the cabin door, knowing that his sister's condition is beyond help. 4 years later, the scene shifts to Hong Kong at night, with its buildings illuminated. A group of people is seen entering an apartment building. As they open a room, one of them is instructed to wake up a man who is sleeping. Then they taught them a lesson after being forcibly awakened, and it was Jung-suk. They were there because they were ordered by their boss who wanted to meet Jung-suk. Jung-suk then went with them. Upon arriving at the mafia boss's place, Jung-suk found out that his brother-in-law was also there. It turned out that the mafia boss's goal was to gather Koreans to return to the Korean peninsula and retrieve a large sum of money from a truck. Jung-suk, who thought this was unreasonable, immediately rejected the mafia boss's offer of half of the money. However, the mafia boss threatened them by reminding them of their status as refugees and told them to reconsider the offer. Jung-suk then talked with his brother-in-law at a dining place where his brother-in-law tried to convince Jung-suk to accept the offer and made him realize that their living conditions in Hong Kong were not good. This was shown by the behavior of the people there who ostracized Koreans. Jung-suk then got angry, broke a glass after paying for the drink, and left, preparing to return to Korea. Their adventure began. They were seen preparing weapons to survive the zombies there. Then a mafia member gave them a satellite phone to report back after they got the money. They started sailing with a rubber boat towards the peninsula, where they saw many shipwrecks in the waters. Upon reaching the land, they walked towards the location they were looking for. By accident, one of them found a car that looked usable. They hurriedly searched for the truck with the money. The car stopped when they saw a truck, and Jung-suk got out to check it, but it was not the truck they were looking for. Jung-suk heard a noise and approached it to see where it came from. When Jung-suk checked with his night vision, he was shocked to find a group of zombies trapped in a glass room. He then returned to the car, and they continued their journey. At the bridge, they found another truck and checked it immediately, and they found piles of bags filled with money in the truck. However, while trying to remove a driver's corpse trapped in the truck, Jung-suk's brother-in-law accidentally pressed the car horn. The corpse woke up, revealing itself as a zombie. Jung-suk immediately shot the zombie dead. But a group of zombies came due to the horn sound. Jung-suk had to shoot them and quickly leave the area. As they managed to leave to return to the port, a man suddenly shot a flare gun, attracting the zombies. They stepped on the gas pedal of their car. However, a sudden accident struck them, causing Jung Seok to be thrown out of the car. Jung Seok's brother-in-law managed to hide inside a box truck while Jung Seok was saved by a girl named Junie. With her driving skills, Junie and her sister managed to take Jung Seok away from the zombie-infested area. However, Jung Seok remained unconscious due to June's driving skills. Meanwhile, Jung Seok's brother-in-law, along with the truck, was taken away by the people who shot the flare gun earlier. Jung Seok regained consciousness after arriving at the residence of the siblings who had saved him. There, he saw an elderly man and a woman named Min Jung, who was the mother of the two girls. When Jung Seok saw the woman, he realized she was the one who asked for help 4 years ago. His brother-in-law, who was inside the box truck, was then taken out, and their leader, known as Sergeant Huang, took him to an arena. Meanwhile, Jung Seok, who was talking to Min Jung, thought his team and his brother-in-law had died in the accident. A man named Captain Seo found the satellite phone and connected with the mafia waiting at the port, allowing him to leave Korea if he brought the money to the port. In the arena, Jung Seok's brother-in-law was put in a fight against a group of zombies released for the audience's betting entertainment, led by Sergeant Huang. Fortunately, he survived without being bitten. After explaining that he came from Hong Kong to retrieve the money and leave again, Min Jung immediately made a plan to retrieve the truck at night and leave Korea. The Korean peninsula, which had become a ghost town, started to get dark. Min Jung prepared weapons and gave one to Jung Seok. They got ready to go, driving their car towards Sergeant Huang's base to retrieve the money-filled truck. They stopped behind the base. Min Jung instructed her children to stay vigilant while she and Jung Seok went to get the truck. They entered through a secret path and arrived inside the base. Suddenly, Min Jung almost got caught by a man, but Jung Seok subdued him. Finally, they saw the truck. Meanwhile, Captain Seo tried to divert attention by distributing food, but Sergeant Huang noticed something odd about Captain Seo's actions. Sergeant Huang then suddenly entered Captain Seo's room, startling him. As Captain Seo slowly approached the table and followed Sergeant Huang's conversation, he hid the satellite phone on the table, and they began talking. And while they were talking, Soldier Kim suddenly appeared, revealing their suspicions. Sergeant Huang then left, assuming the two men were romantically involved. Jung Seok and Min Jung then approached the car they were looking for, but found the satellite phone was no longer working. Suddenly, Soldier Kim appeared at the car. When they pointed their guns at him, Soldier Kim mentioned a man also brought in this car who was now in the zombie arena. Realizing it might be his brother-in-law, Jung Seok immediately left to rescue him in the zombie arena run by Sergeant Huang. Captain Seo suddenly appeared, seeing his men held at gunpoint. Captain Seo fired a shot, and Min Jung hit him with the truck. Meanwhile, Jung Seok managed to enter the arena and save his brother-in-law, who was almost bitten by zombies. Min Jung retrieved the satellite phone from Captain Seo's pocket. The loose zombies made it difficult for them to leave the area. Jung Seok's brother-in-law was then shot by Sergeant Huang right before his eyes. Then Min Jung's truck crashed into the room, and Jung Seok left the place. Min Jung's children suddenly followed the car she was driving. As her children began to greet their mother, several flare guns were fired into the air, revealing Sergeant Huang and his troops pursuing them. A chase and shootout ensued with Sergeant Huang's troops. They managed to escape after Jung Seok shot a glass enclosure filled with zombies, trapping their enemies. They contacted the mafia on the ship and began heading to the port. Suddenly, a car crashed into the one driven by Junie. It was Captain Seo who then restrained Jung Seok and forced them to drop their weapons. But then Yu Jin saved her sister using a toy car, but her grandpa was shot while protecting Yu Jin from Captain Seo. Min Jung was also shot in the leg. Captain Seo took the truck and drove it away, but when he arrived at the ship seeking rescue, Captain Seo was shot dead by the mafia. A group of zombies then entered and bit everyone on the ship. Meanwhile, the grandpa succumbed to his injuries, causing everyone to mourn. Suddenly, a helicopter appeared to rescue them. Due to her leg injury, Min Jung did not run to the helicopter and chose to distract the zombies by honking the car horn, intending to sacrifice herself. Jung-seok, unable to bear watching this, mustered the courage to save Min-jung. They ran, assisted by Jung-seok hindering the zombies' movement. In the end, they reunited and left the Korean peninsula safely. And the film ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Because by subscribing, you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.